And I think we're live. Hello, people of YouTube, and welcome back. So, I've been a bit lazy on YouTube recently, and decided that I'm going to make a bit of a live stream video because then I can't back out of it. Uh, and I thought if I bring people along, then I won't just fall asleep and not make the video. So, along for the ride into my madness, I brought along Ross. How are you doing, mate?
All good. Always good. Well, not good. I've hurt me back, so
Oh no.
I'll be stuck in this chair like this all night.
Well, at least we can see you now. You're not so faded as you
Oh,
was
that's all right
earlier.
then.
You're not the promo copy as once we did see. Yeah, so we have got a third guest coming along. I'm assuming people will probably guess who it's going to be, but he's currently predisposed, eating some food, getting some energy up. So yeah, he'll come along later. But yeah, first off, Ross, I'm sure people know who you are by now who watch my videos. Who are you? And yeah,
No
what are you
one.
doing?
Some chap on the internet who puts up crappy videos.
So
nothing to it.
so you work well with coming on my channel, then, basically.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, good.
I
So
play more games than I should talk about on the internet.
yeah, exactly. I mean, who does that these days?
No one wants to play these things we buy.
Exactly. It's just for show, isn't it?
It is. It's just a really expensive way to have like a backdrop. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can't make a video if you. I mean, imagine doing a video and you didn't have this behind you. What? Who'd watch it?
I don't know. People.
Anyway, talking about videos and not getting made, Geordie Slasher is in the comments at the moment. A little bit of a last minute thing here, so this is more. It's not so much a live stream. It's kind of going to be a bit of a commentary. So what it's about is, well, there's been a few. Is it news that's been coming about just recently? But well, there's a lot of nothing happening recently on the limited games sort of front in general. I think there's a lot of people waiting for things, and I think emotions are like going multiple different directions. And I thought I'd talk to a couple of the people that are into the limited game scene, just like I am. However, I think we're all a little bit different to each other, and I thought it would be quite a good narrative to see everyone's thoughts on the matter. Yeah, what is your limited run credentials, Ross? Can you tell me a bit more?
Well, I started collecting them right near the beginning.
And what
I used to love the rush of trying to get stuff that was genuinely limited. It was just a bit of fun. I like to find games that ones I hadn't heard of, so I could grab them, or just stuff that, because I'm not a big fan of digital. I like to have everything physical. If I could get a physical version, I'd seek these out. And yeah, then it just spiraled into spending a lot of money on stuff that should be a mobile phone game.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how it started out for myself as well. So it was limited run games that sort of like got me into sort of like this madness that sort of like has overwhelmed me really a little bit at some points. And it was basically a mobile phone game that got it to me. And it was, in fact, a game that you've just played recently on live stream.
I've just beat it.
Yeah, Saturday morning RPG. So I think that was another reason that kind of got me wanting to talk about like limited run games as well, because yeah. So if people don't know, I think limited run games were the first proper company for like the PS4 era, at least anyway, that kind of like said that they was making games specifically limited to really as small numbers as they could do, just to basically get games out the door. And the first one that I jumped onto was that Saturday morning RPG. Originally, I actually downloaded it on a mobile phone and started playing it that way. And I was like, it's good, but I don't want to play on a mobile phone. Then I heard about the console release. And then that's how I kind of found out about Limited Run. They was releasing it at the time. I don't know if you can now, but you could not get that game on the European digital storefront on the PlayStation. So the only way I felt like I could get to play it was getting this limited game, and I missed it. I missed that first copy. Like I had to. back then it was absolutely insane. They came up for order and they were sold out straight away, and I didn't quite understand how on the nose you had to be to get these games. Like you had they released the time and you had to be there to get the game. And
Oh yeah,
so
things vanished in like minutes on it. But
exactly. And so I had to get mine on the secondary market on eBay, an open copy for £50. I was like, bloody hell, this is madness. £50 for a game. But I learned my lesson from that point, and I jumped in head first with limited run games. So I don't know if you how early was you into getting limited run games?
a couple in because they started on the Vita, didn't they? And
Yeah.
it's always been my favorite handheld. So I thought if somebody's putting out more stuff that I can buy, I'm going to be there. But yeah, I missed Saturday Morning RPG, and I missed Abe's like Odyssey, New and Tasty.
Yeah.
Then I joined in from there onwards.
Okay, so very similar times, because I think Abe's was my first proper like one that I got. So
Yeah.
from when I missed that Saturday morning, I got that one. So basically, what they used to do is they used to do I think it was like 3 p.m. and then one at about 11 p.m. and you had to like wait. And I can remember just pressing E on like the screen, just like refreshing like my screen to make sure I could get these games ordered, and then ordered it straight away. And because I missed the first game and I saw how easy it was to get the game, we've got another guest. Hello, Dylan. Yeah, so
Hey.
what I did is I bought the Vita version of Abe's, and I bought the PS4 version, and I also bought another copy of each. I jumped into the scalping market straight away, but it wasn't like I'm trying to get the most money. I was just trying to get all as these games for the less money as I could get, really. And it was easy to
It
do.
used to work pretty well. If you bought two, you'd
Yeah.
end up with a free copy, basically, didn't you?
Basically, yeah. And that's kind of like the nutshell what I was trying to do. However, this is before we realized how crazy the reselling market of limited run games kind of was to become, really. So anyway, Dylan, now you're here. How are you doing? Did you eat anything good? Oh, you're muted. Can you hear him?
No.
Can you hear me? Dylan's just been sexy, according to Marcus. Can you do sign language, Dylan? Oh dear. Yeah, I can see that you muted and unmuted.
Yeah.
So yeah, you probably need to edit your mic settings a bit deeper there, Dylan. Yeah. Right. So while Dylan figures out how to do that, we'll carry on. Great. It's got to have some kind of problems on this, or it's just not normal. We're not the most.
I was almost a white screen earlier, wasn't I?
Exactly. Yeah, we're not the most professional outfit here. So, but yeah. So as well, early on in the limited run games, forums was quite a big thing back then, and they had their own forum. So an early thing I always remember doing is like when everyone got their orders, everyone would come straight onto the forum and put like their order numbers to like say which one they've got. It's crazy to like the numbers that limited run like push out nowadays. It's crazy to think that was like actually a thing. So I don't know if that was something you ever did.
I did look to see what numbers I got of stuff, and just to see how close it was to the first ones. But yeah, I didn't ever talk about it online or anything. It was just a kind of, oh, that's a low number.
No, it wasn't the actual numbers of the games. It was like the actual order number of like
order. Okay, no, I didn't do the order numbers.
Yeah, it was like proper geeky stuff. But it was like, yeah, it was just exciting. It was like, to be honest, like back then, it was quite an exciting thing because it was like there was a lot of innocence, and I don't think people. I think when you was early into to sort of like that scene, I don't think people realize people know of what limited run are now, and I don't think they realize what it was back then. They hear about it, but I don't think they understand.
They started with good intentions, didn't they? They did it to release their original games. Like they made Breach and Clear, which was the first one, and they made Saturday Morning RPG, didn't they? Under Mighty Rabbit Studios.
Yeah.
And started just picking up other people's games. But...
Yeah. And as well, I mean, crazy to think you put your order in on like the Friday and you'd get it sometime that next week.
Oh, no, yeah. Now you can have a year or two in front of that.
Absolutely madness to think of it now. But I mean, that's something that I'll probably get into a bit later on, obviously, when if Dylan sorts himself out, because obviously, from what limited run did back then to now is totally different. And yeah, it's interesting to see. But like, I'll speak to you about something that you do that Dylan doesn't. So he probably doesn't have much. Oh, hang on, he might be back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hey, saving the stream. Hello.
Hi, you're right.
Not bad. Yeah, I was just about to jump forward past limited run, but who are you and what's your limited gaming credentials? Where did you come from and where are you now? Well, not now. We've not got
How did I come into the sort of limited print game? Yeah, limited run, obviously, with the you know the startups for this whole sort of I'm sure there was other people probably doing it, but they were the people who sort of commercialized it and made it like what it was. Everyone sort of copied off them, basically, didn't they? You know what I mean? But I remember seeing it, you know, the first time I'd ever heard the game limited run, but I saw an article and it was on Kotaku, and it was when Saturday Morning RPG came out, and they were basically saying this is going to be the rarest PlayStation 4 game ever. You know what I mean? They were really hyping it up. And I was like, oh, yeah, mate, I should really get on that. You know what I mean? It might be like, you know, as a speculator, maybe a little bit, you know, might sort of worth something, you know, getting involved in. I don't think I didn't, you know what I mean? And because my first one that I bought from was a Vita game, and it was that Soldner X2, the shoot 'em up. I remember exactly where it was when I bought it. It was in my in-laws' house, and I ordered it on my phone. You know what I mean? And it was like back in those days, you know yourself, you had to get in. You know what I mean? You had to be there when it dropped, and if you didn't, and you know, there was something quite exciting about those days. You know what I mean? To be there, be fair, you know, it was quite a cool time.
I used to go up to my boss and be like, "Don't worry, you're not going to see me at 3 o'clock. I've got to go do something." Yeah. Ordering a video game. Just order it when you get home. You can't.
It was just I don't know. You know what I mean? And I think when you like the first like year or so, I think when it really sort of blew up for like, you know, when I felt right and I struggled to get games. I think it was Night Trap was one I struggled on, and I don't think I got. I think I got Darius. And I think Wonder Boy around that period, it's right, okay, you've got to be really on it now, like, you know what I mean, and get your ducks in a row before you press that buy button, you know, and get it all in, you know. And
so I'm sorry to rub this in for you, Dylan, but when I got Night Trap, they sent me 2 copies by mistake.
That's the one I bought off
eBay.
Yeah, is it Joe? Is it Underwater Level?
Okay. Oh yeah, you got yours from.
I got the limited edition one. I'll be honest, I still like the standard edition of it, really, just so I can put it with the rest of it.
I feel bad to know that Night Trap's one of the ones I've actually sold from my collection. I need to get it back. When I needed some money, and it was going for good. That and Shantae on the.
I'm surprised you didn't buy the game, the GBA version of it. Is it GBA that came out on?
Yeah, there is a GBA one.
Yeah.
But no, you know, it's just grown so much since then. What's this?
So that's quite an interesting topic to bring in, because there's a lot of controversy with Metal Jesus Rocks and Limited Run. Do you jump on the hype train that like MGR is a lot to blame for it all and stuff, or was he just doing what all the YouTubers do? They're just reporting what's going on around them.
Yeah, is that all?
He's just the biggest voice.
Was that Bird King controversy? Was he involved in all that?
Bird King, definitely. He was hyping that up, saying that it was the rarest thing there wasn't many copies of it. It just appeared somewhere on someone's desk, and they brought it into show when there's hundreds of the bastards everywhere. I got 2 of them.
But do you think he knew everything about how, like, I suppose, common that one is, though? That's the thing. So hang on, let's go back, because I don't think everyone knows what we're talking. We know what we're talking about. I've got a copy up there somewhere. I think you've got one, haven't you, Ross?
I have.
I've got 2. I've got both variants.
Dylan refuses to get one. So basically, what it is there's a game that Limited Run actually released, and then there was a sequel that was made, which I believe is the same game, but or something with like just the bugs.
Yeah, it's like a remix or something of it.
Yeah, it's very But it's called Revenge of the Bird King, and Limited Run was supposed to be releasing it, and then they didn't, and then someone got a load of copies. So it's got Limited Run on the back of the cover, but it's not a Limited Run numbered release. It's nothing on the spine, which is why Dylan doesn't need to get that for his set, but he should realistically.
I want the beta copy because that is genuinely rare. I've only ever seen a couple of pictures of that, but
yeah. So basically, Michael Jesus Rock did a video about it, saying how rare it is and stuff like that. And the only way you can get it was it at conventions or something? There was
he didn't. He said he wasn't allowed to sell it through Limited Run, was he? So it said something like you should contact him to get it, or he might be selling it at conventions. And then all of a sudden, it was at every Limited Run event, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, this game was going at the start. It was going for hundreds of pounds, like, because people were like just buying into the hype. Because there was no other official channels about it really. But as time has gone on, like it's still abundantly available on eBay. I think the guy actually sells it on eBay now, doesn't he? The guy who owns the copies. So yeah, it's a random release, but I don't think you can get it digitally. So there is that. That
was the reason why apparently Limited Run weren't allowed to sell it, was it? Because to be an official distributor of physical games, I think Sony say they have to be on the store as well or something.
Yeah.
Something really bizarre with it.
Well, again, that's going to be something that's going to get brought up later as well. So just hold that thought. So yeah, because we're knee deep in Limited Run games. So Dylan, is there anything that you collect for specifically, by any chance, if you've not mentioned it yet?
Say that again. Sorry.
Do you collect anything specifically Limited Run games with the Limited Run games?
Oh, just the PS4 set, isn't it?
Just the PS4 set. So how many games have you got currently on just this PS4 set?
400. Over 400
how many?
On that set.
400 games. That's an impressive feat, Dylan. I'll tell you what.
But it is slowing down. You know what I mean? You saw that with like the LG3 announcement stream that like PS4 there was like there was side speccing PS4 going straight to PS5 and Switch only. You know what I mean? So PS4 is sort of hopefully not tonight.
It's mad to think that you own more Limited Run games than some libraries of some systems.
Yeah. I do Switch ones, but as well, but just the odd one. You know what I mean? If it interests me, I'll get a Switch version. And some of the I may be forced to get a PS5 one if I see a game I like and I want to play on a PlayStation and it's only on PS5. I'll get on that. You know what I mean? But there are other sets, and I was doing the Play Asia set, but I stopped doing that a while back. You know what I mean? Missed out on a few and never went back to it. And then there's the strictly limited set as well.
Well, that's a good point, actually, Dylan, you just brought up. So we all did the Limited Run quite early on for ourselves. Hang on a second. Someone's just asked not like, do you want to get your balance out kind of question.
2016, isn't it?
What's that?
Is it 2016?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out myself. How long has it been?
Google it.
Someone Google it.
Yeah, we were there. We can't remember last week, most of us.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know why I think it's me.
Yeah, it sounds 2016 sounds about right, but it's a long time ago. That really, Jesus, 8 years ago, 8 years of just madness.
October 29th, 2015.
2015. Oh, well, there you go. That was even
October. Yes. nearly. To be fair, it would be like nearly December. It would probably be December, January when I jumped on then. So, but yeah, no, it like I say, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, because it felt like
obviously from there, obviously there's been quite a lot of limited run games companies. What was the next one that you guys jumped onto? Where did you go to from there?
probably for me, it's pretty strictly limited.
I don't think Strictly Limited was the next one I went to. I think Play Asia might have been.
Oh, maybe Play Asia. Yeah, they started jumping because East Asia Soft. A lot of the early LRG releases were East Asia Soft published games, so they just brought them out in America or whatever. But then they thought, right, we can do this on our own and start publishing them all themselves. So through Play Asia, didn't they? So
I'm trying to think. I don't know whether I went with like V Blank stuff or IM 8-bit stuff or something like that.
Yeah,
I think V Blank might have been before Limited Run.
I think they probably were.
I think they were.
Yeah,
actually,
but they got stuck on one game and couldn't get any game after that. Oh no, 2 games. Sorry, now they've got 2 games. That's madness. Like I'm talking about iterating the same thing over and over again. But yeah, if people don't know, V Blank was Retro City Rampage, and what's the second one? Something Hawaii. Yeah, so really good games, but it's just that what they've done is just released it on, so I think PS4, then Vita, then back to PS3, DOS 386. Like there's some crazy, strange releases. 3DS.
They just want to be. They want to be the company to release the last game on everything, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Wii as well. Like, yeah.
The credits of Play Asia though, their sets were really nice. You know what I mean? You used to come in those little like boxes, and you used to get CDs, and it was just like a little package. You know what I mean? And they weren't that expensive back then. You could get them. You didn't get stung for customs, etc. when you got them. You know what I mean? So, and they came out periodically. They didn't come out too fast. You know what I mean?
So I've got one hand, like little boxes they come in and stuff. I think they do look cool.
Yeah, they're lovely. They're really nice.
So as well, like early on for them, I don't know if you remember, but like what you had to do is you had to register interest.
Oh, you had to register. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and they'd send you out a little link, wouldn't they, to buy them?
So yeah, you could only be they only released them to the ones that register their interest first, and it was like that was the limitedness of it. Yeah, it's quite cool. Again, not a massive turnaround. We're talking about the turnaround times, Dylan. So now we've got all of us here. What's everyone's thoughts on limited run games turnarounds? So it used to get a game within a week or 2. Then they pushed the boundaries a little bit, and I don't think it was so much the fact that it was the boundaries. It was the fact that they would start releasing so many games so soon after each other. They kind of got a bit out of control.
Mm-hmm. I think that they'd even admit that. I think they just signed. They all say that you signed up too many games, too many editions, too many, and it just sort of clogged everything up. And I think it got got to where like say during 2021, you know what I mean, and the pandemic and all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean, because that's probably when it was hitting them hard. To be fair, I don't think they're too bad these days compared to others. You know what I mean? I don't know if you order that much from them these days, but they're a lot quicker than the
stuff turns up.
Yeah,
that's the thing, it turns up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm like, don't get me wrong. They're not like super rare or whatever. And you get it, like they've got them in hand and you just get it straight away. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. You just have to wait, but they're nowhere near as bad as they used to. I had a massive backlog with them of like I won't say how many games. It was a lot, and they've whittled it down to less than half that now. The amount of games that I have that with that outstanding with them now is similar to what I've had for Strictly Limited for like the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Strictly Limited.
Yeah. Well, this is another thing I want to speak to you about, like the turnaround times as well, Dylan, because you probably know a bit more than this for me. I was watching an interview with Josh, who's the main founder.
Well, I saw that. That was pretty good. That.
Yeah. Yeah. Ross told me about it. But yeah, in there he mentioned that like now all of the games are pre-production, so their limitedness is not like a arbitrary number like it was before. Like before it used to be like 1,000, 2,000 however many games. Now it is they'll make a pre-order of a month, and then from there they'll make as many games from that, and then I think round it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is now the reason why they're making the excuse of the long turnaround times. So when did they start doing that, where they stop numbering the games?
I'd say about like maybe a year or maybe 2 years ago. It's been a long
So
time now.
it's only recently then.
Yeah. It's, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It was like obviously at certain points it was like certain releases were still limited to that. Like you go on at say like 1,500 copies, whereas like the bigger releases, your Castlevanias, your Shantae's, anything that was a hyper release would have a pre-order period. And then at some point, I can't like say when it was, but everything went to the pre-order model. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The last two Vita games were limited to numbers, and it was like the old days. I've never seen a website crash so fast in my life.
Was that Meat? Was it Meat Boy?
Meat Boy and Papers, Please, both of them.
Yeah, Papers, Please. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the website went down for a bit for Meat Boy.
Yeah. Well, it crashed when they had the blowout sale as well, didn't it? I don't know if you tried to log on for the blowout sale.
Did it?
Yeah, I was trying. I got a couple of blind boxes coming, which that's.
I mean, it went on online eventually, right? But you know what I mean. I don't know. I mean, I get what he was saying. You know, in that thing about people. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. They made them in limited quantities, and people like moaned, we can't get them. But now they said, well, this what we can do it this way. You know what I mean? You got a window to get it. If you want it, it's there. You know what I mean? If not, you know, that's.
It would be a lot quicker if they weren't pumping out so much.
Yeah. Like I say, it's well, they by all accounts, they've actually knocked a load of releases on the head. They've like games they signed up. They've like thought they've got too many releases. They need to trim the fat basically, and there's loads of games that they signed up that they're not no longer to be putting out.
So actually, that's a good point as well. Like the amount of releases. So a lot of people complained about the quality of games.
Yeah,
because they were pumping so many out. However, because I've been to your room and I've gone through the games like properly, where I've like pulled them out, gone, what's this, what's that? There's quite a lot of good quality games, to be fair. Limited. Yeah. People don't actually realize. I think people hear like they'll hear people ranting and stuff like that on the internet, and because they don't really know too much about it, they'll just take that side. But actually, no, there's a lot of great games. There's a lot I've not heard of now because I don't really actively take part in it. But yeah, there's some good stuff. How many of them have you played, Dylan?
But no, I mean, I think and even now, probably admit if you ask them, there was like they would like say the first few years they would sign up everything, and there was stuff that was getting released that probably shouldn't have got released. You know, in my opinion, and they probably, I reckon they would probably.
I think they pump out too many collector's editions for things that don't need collector's editions.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's a big downside.
To be honest, the Blaster Master Zero collection I've got is probably one of the coolest collector's editions I've ever opened. But I didn't need it.
They're really nice. The What's Name ones were really nice. I quite like the No More Heroes ones, like the 2-pack ones are really nice.
Yeah.
But I think they've all standardized them all now, so they all look exactly the same sized boxes, I believe, now. Whereas before they were all different shapes and sizes.
I like that idea, but at the same time, it sort of like can stifle the creativity of what's been put in them. Because there is some.
Didn't Plumbers Don't Wear Ties get a collector's edition?
Yeah, of course. It's got a t-shirt, a skateboard, probably. You know, a cap. I don't know, whatever. You know, keyring stickers. You know, the whole lot. You know,
a tie, of course.
Yeah, a tie. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm sure that there's some sort of blow-up thing with the woman. You know what I mean? Like a, you know.
There'll be that interview as well. There was an interview, like not an interview. I'm trying to think what it is. What is it? Documentary about it.
Yes,
it's on YouTube for free.
I think that's quite interesting. I need to watch that. But it's on. I don't know if it's on the disc. You know what I mean? I'm just looking it up anyway. Whether they do what merch they've done for that anyway.
But yeah, no. For me, like when games started going downhill, it was like it was PlayAsia. They started doing like alchemy jousts. is it Alchemist Joust or something? It was like, what is this absolute turd? And then a tower defense game as well. It was like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, let's not just go on to this. And that kind of like broke my like I want to get everything, like sort of like mindset, because I did get into the view of I wanted every limited run company, but then more and more limited run companies came out, like Strictly Limited. We'll talk about next, I guess, because they are probably me and Dylan were in a bit of a group for schmoppers and stuff like that, and I think Strictly Limited is probably one of the most talked about limited companies because they do so good like stuff, but
yeah, I'd say
turnaround is absolutely shocking. Like it just really is. And not only that, but they've probably like burnt so many bridges by releasing games that are available before, like years before, for cheaper, like just in the retail stores.
Yeah, there's they were. I actually really liked them because they were quite. They didn't like. They didn't go full limited run. They didn't release loads of games. They released one a month. It was really easy to keep up. It was 25 quid a game, and it was obviously you buying it from Europe, so it was like whatever £6 postage. It was one a month, and it was dead easy to do, and you got it quit fairly quickly. Hi Jim, but. Then something changed and they started releasing more and more games. You know what I mean? And I think that's for me is where the trouble started. And then, like you say, what Ross said before, more collector's editions and just expanding their thing, and it just sort of, I think they caught up and selling games that were putting out games that weren't selling. You know what I mean?
Strictly Limited that put out the Space Invaders game that came with a fucking board game. So I've got that, and I don't. Why would I want a board game?
So what do you do Strictly Limited then? Because Dylan, I know I think you're actively going for a full set of that.
PS4 set, yeah.
PS4 set, yeah. So Ross,
but like as well, just what it's. What was I going to say? It'll come back to me. Sorry.
To be honest with them, I only went with specific releases. Anything that looked interesting. And strangely, collector's editions that the girlfriend thought you need these and bought them for me. Hence the board game.
You got one that actually I had to go back and get, and it was the standard copy was like sold out, and it cost more to get the standard copy on eBay with the resellers than it was to get the special edition. So it was Bite the Bullet.
Oh, yeah,
because I saw it and it never really tickled my fancy, but you talked about it and it made me go and grab it. So, like I say, it was cheaper to get the special edition because no one was.
The edition looks really nice. The cover art on the collector's edition, that's really cool, actually.
I've never actually opened the collector's edition because the Switch version, they messed up the cartridge. So when it turned up, they sent me a spare cartridge. So that's the one that works, and the one in the box doesn't. So
strange.
At least they rectified their mistake.
Exactly, yeah.
Excuse me. What I did want to say about them is that they never went to the whole. They have a number for their. They say on the thing they're going to be X amount of games. You know what I mean? And I think what some of the problems was is they said we'll make 2,000 copies, and they're probably getting like say 500 orders. And that's real. You know, I think that's because they even I don't know, not so long back when they pushed everything back basically a year. Like a stack of releases, he said, buy these now because the print number that's on the website may be less, so you'll get an even rarer game now. You know what I mean? Because I think there's certain games that just they say they made 2,000 copies, they're never going to sell 2,000 copies of them.
Well, originally they did. Like all of their stuff was selling out.
Yeah, it used to sell out all the time.
I think the game that broke them was Turrican Special Edition.
Oh yeah, Turrican was a disaster, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they slowed down with the production. I think because they got too many in production at once that they couldn't fulfill. And then I think the special edition, like I don't know what's actually in it, but I know that was like especially slow. And in the meantime, the Turrican special edition, I think that was the first one that got released in retail stores. So like the trust for them like sort of like waned a little bit, even though the special reserve, what is it? Strictly Limited Like their games are actually different than the ones that are the retail release.
Yeah.
You'll get a manual and maybe like a different game on the
You
package
get
or
more
something.
content on there, but
So, but people like it or lump it. Like we was making a joke about like making videos for backdrops. A lot of people don't actually play all the games that they buy, and so people just have them because it sort of like scratches that nostalgic itch. Because a lot of them were like games they played back in the day, and they just want it on the shelves. And a lot of people do that more than people. It's nice to know that people are buying them to play it, but realistically, I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
That's what I think the issue with limited run now is.
Yeah,
the stuff they're putting out is only to tickle nostalgia.
Yeah,
like their thing they just put out there, LRG3. Everything I watched in there, I thought the stuff done by Night Dive, yeah, that's got some effort put into it. Not too fussed about Star Wars, but like stuff like the Gex and the Tomba or Tombi editions, that annoys me because they're just emulating stuff on a disc now. That's all it is. That's that whole thing with stuff like that.
Well, we can go to another part now. Who's buying physical games in 2024? And it is old bastards like us. And what kind of games will old bastards like us play if we're going to play a game?
The problem is, if they're not going to update it in any way, shape, or form, you can play the game any point. Like, I'll give it things like Tombi are expensive, but you could easily, like, if I was to put my copy of that in a duck station, it would look better than what they're putting out. I don't know, that annoys me. If they should do something with it, like, same with Limited Run now should realize they have a global audience, not just American. Like with the Gex releases, they should have both the English and the American voice acting on it because they're both different, aren't they? Same with Tomba, that you should be able to change between Tomba and Tombi on the main screens and stuff. But they won't do any of that. It's just slapping an American ISO on a disc, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to wait until they till they come out what extras they put in. You know what I mean?
Well, the ones that were being like done by like Night Dive and stuff, they said all the different stuff like Rewind. You have all this better graphics, but the ones like the Tombi and Gex, they were like it's being re-released in its original form, is what they kept saying. I was thinking, you got to put something different in there.
I'll be honest, I'm not really that interested in those games. I was a bit disappointed by the announcement reveal thing. I thought it's just old PlayStation. I don't know, just nothing I've got any really interest or nostalgia for. So
yeah,
I know they've got the fans Gex and Bubsy and Tomba or whatever. You know, it just
I quite like the Fighting Force games. I find them janky and fun.
Oh yeah, Fighting Force.
Do I want a collection on the PS4 or 5? No, not really.
I mean, they're putting that weird. I mean,
cheaper to buy on PS1.
Ones that are getting like, is it Fear Effect is coming back out again?
Yeah, there's nothing done to that as well. Said it's in original form as well.
Well, the thing is, you're talking about Limited Run doing these things, but what actual hand did Limited Run have in development of the games? I don't think they do. I think they're literally just a publisher. So
no, they said that all those the older stuff they have created an in-house engine, so people can bring their older stuff to it. So
the YouTuber that made that, wasn't it? That Carbon Engine.
Yeah, it's that modern vintage gamer.
If they're using it, I guess they've got some hand in it, haven't they?
He works for Limited Run.
Yeah.
Okay,
did all the Shantae stuff and that.
These are actually limited. These retro remakes, whatever they are just Limited Run, sort of like published. Yeah, because I can remember they pushed out the PS2 sort of like releases on PS4, didn't they? They were the ones that sort of like pushed for them to happen, and they're a bit buggy as well, to be honest, aren't they? I believe a lot of them.
I was working my way through Jack X, and it has some weird slowdown issues. Weren't in the original.
But at least you can play Tomba with achievements now.
Yeah, that'll be the only interesting thing. But yeah, you can still do that already. But
I felt the last announcement was better. You know
Now
what I
then,
mean?
Raz. Well, Raz has
I
made
can't remember what was in
the
it.
point.
There's still loads of games in that haven't released, and there's probably still ones from the one before that haven't been released yet. You know what I mean? Ones that one that pops to mind is that there's a wrestling one, like a retro sort of wrestling one that looks like WrestleMania, the arcade game. I can't remember what it's called. It's not official wrestlers, but it's like it looks exactly the same as that, and that's now come out. Katana Zero, super hot.
Katana Zero is really good, actually. That's
the Karateka, definitive version of Karateka, which is like a really cool sort of. I think it was a Mac game or a PC game back in the day. I played it on the ST back in the day. I loved it, so I want to play that, but that's still not come out. Yeah, there's loads still haven't materialized yet.
But yeah, Raz has made a good point because it's hard to talk about Limited Games Company without going back to Limited Run so many times, because there's so many little streams that they've done. They've gone so many different avenues. But yeah, so now Limited Run Games are owned by one of the biggest gaming companies out there, isn't it? It's who is it? What's the company called? Embracer Group. That's it. Yeah. So they own Limited Run Games, which are they the reason why they're like things are getting sort of like made in advance now, as opposed to like sort of like truly limited? Like, are they so big now? Because I can remember when the announcement came, all of a sudden there was like Dead Space limited editions that they was getting released, and it was like this kind of like completely goes against the original limited ethos of like releasing games that would only get released, like because of this small amount of games that they could publish.
They have changed a lot. You know what I mean? We said it right at the start. It was like you were in this club at the start. You know what I mean? And it was exciting. You know what I mean? You were getting these weird and wonderful titles, and as it grew, it just got more releases, more tat and collector's editions, and bigger releases. They started getting them, and yeah, it's got to where we are now. You know what I mean?
I used to love it. They used to champion the indie game, and now they're just stuck in off Konami most of the time.
It's a shame. Yeah, it is a shame where they've sort of like a little bit where they got the magic's not as there as much. They still put out some weird titles here and there. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, but
I like the fact they've kind of like not brought back, but they've kind of like put a spotlight on FMV games.
There's one. They've got one coming out called Ghost or something, haven't they? That looked interesting because it's got the woman in it from like Garth Marenghi and Prevenge and stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like, I really want to. I think I've got one. I think Dylan gave me one, and I really need to go and play it. But yeah, there's quite a few of them that are out there now. I think they're all made by the same company, so I don't know if that signifies quality. The fact they've knocked out so many, like no one makes FMV games.
Probably Late Shift. They did
Late Shift is another one. Yeah, but I think there's a lot of British kind of ones as well, isn't there? Yeah. In fact, here's a guy that can answer us. The FMV games, Dylan.
Oh, yeah, there's loads of them. There's like a lot of them. I've not played any of them. I really want to play some of them. I think they're going to be interesting. You know what I mean? I really like The Quarry. I know that it's not really the same thing, but I kind of really enjoyed that. And I thought, there's tons of them, you know what I mean? But some look quite good fun, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of horror-themed ones and psychological type stuff.
Because it's only Limited Run that I've ever seen a physical copy of a FMV game available. I think they've kind of got the market at the moment.
There was one that looked interesting, but I never played it. I've never got it. It's called The Madness of something. It's got like a green case.
It's got a which case?
Sorry?
What's it got? What's it on the case?
It's like green and smoky looking.
I think I know the one you mean, but I don't know the title of it.
Yeah, it's got a really bizarre name. I was like, that just sounds interesting.
Is that a limited run one? Is it?
Yeah, it's a limited run one.
Okay.
We'll have a little. It's not it's not that Dr. Decker, is it?
It might be, yeah.
That's got a green cover. Yeah, I think it's that. And that's an FMV game.
Yeah. I swear it's an FMV game.
The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker.
That's it.
Sounds interesting, yeah.
But there's loads in like there's the shape shifting detective, late shift. There's like that Bloodshaw one which came out recently, which is like a sort of Running Man type kind of game. You know what I mean? That battle royale type thing. Is that Erica? Is that one of them? Have you got that?
I think that was the first one that like kind of got like big. That Erica. Yeah. That's the one I've got. I think I got a few, Dylan, and I need to play it. You've got a question, Dylan. So, have you ever played Freedom Finger? I know a couple of us have, but have you
I've got it. I haven't played it. I've got it on Switch as well.
I platinumed it.
Did you platinum it? Nice one.
I did platinum it.
I can remember playing that very drunk, and it's kind of like that's how you need to play that game. But no, in a good way. It's not like a bad game. It's just bizarre. It's
a tad racist.
But the thing is, it's like the people that are the cast of characters, the voice actors are like really big. They're like Joel. Not Joel. Is it Joel from The Last of Us? Isn't it?
What's his name?
I forgot what his name is. He's in everything. Nathan Drake is Nathan Drake anyway.
Yeah.
And then you've got Bender from Futurama. He's in it. But the thing is, you won't even know who the voices are. If you don't know, you'll never be able to guess them because they're just so random. But it's like basically like it's like a music like compilation or something that you play a video game behind with like a crazy fucking weird America fuck yeah kind of story in the background. There is nothing else like it. And you basically
there's a big finger.
There's a finger like this shooting. But it does get quite tricky in some points.
To be honest, it wasn't the easiest platinum, I'll give it that.
Yeah. But no, it's quite an interesting game. So I mean, is there any that's another good thing about the limited run games, like sort of like thing structure, like the fact that it's kind of got me to buy games that I wouldn't have normally have got, and I've actually found more games that way than elsewhere. I think sometimes there's been some like real nice shockers that wouldn't have normally picked up. And
I've played some games just because I bought them because the covers looked interesting and they turned out to be great.
Yeah,
like that's one of the reasons why I ended up playing Firewatch. I thought that just looked cool.
Firewatch is quite good. I enjoyed Firewatch.
I did, yeah.
And out of I will say, when secondary market of limited run games, most of them are slowly but surely going back down to their almost like retail price.
Yeah,
Firewatch is not. That is ridiculous money now.
Well, imagine what, right? So another thing about Firewatch is probably one of their first like scandals, maybe, if you could call it that, because they released the game in shrink wrap instead of a proper sealed. So, but there is shrink wrap one. Sorry, proper sealed ones, but like very limited, like the true limited. Imagine if that's going up in value. How much is one of them worth?
Don't say that. I opened it.
What, a normal seal one?
Yeah.
Oh my word! Like there's, I've not even
there's
seen.
Another one. There's another one with like a misprint on as well. Dear Esther.
Oh, is that
on the spine? It's got like a misprint on the spine, and people like kicked off and wrote to them and got another sleeve or whatever, or another another sleeve. So that one's quite rare compared.
If I could stand up and have a look, I would, but.
As well, though, I mean, we focus on that limited run, but then you think about what came out of it, all the different companies that came out of it. You know what I mean? I only say that because I've got one right here. You know what I mean? Red Dot Games release. I mean, how many companies sprung up in the wake of limited run is just crazy. I mean, some successful, some not successful. Then obviously, Ross is big on these ones that do these like really weird sort of not viral, kind of sort of like DIY releases. Yeah, I don't know what we call it. You know what I mean? I don't know how we do it.
I have to go for
everyone's favorite. My Name is Mayo kind of games.
Yeah, I still find it weird that Limited Run put that out on a physical disc.
Yeah, that's definitely a Red Art style game. That one. So yeah, we've not talked about Red Art games. I think that's another one that's probably got quite heavily talked about nowadays, another European company, and I think they have got the future of like limited games sort of right. I think they have like they've restructured, they've rebranded and restructured, and like now they're just a publisher basically now that also do a few handful of like actually like limited versions. So they'll I don't fully understand it because I thought I did, and it's not as black and white as what I thought. I think they have 3 different types of releases that are all called something out different. So most of their stuff all goes to retail stores now. It's not, you don't just have to buy it from there, but they'll also release a special slipcover version, which is like limited to like 300 copies or something, like a very limited amount.
You get a standard edition of the game, don't you?
So
I thought that was like the first 300 people to get there got that. I always thought.
Yeah. Well, no, you'd have to order that one specifically, and then I
thought you had to order it just from their site, and then you'd get that version if you were like.
You do, but they also sell the normal version on the site as well at the same time. So you always have to make sure you order the right one. Okay. But I like that idea because I think the amount of people who want limited releases now have like declined. So it gives them few people that sort of like itch, whereas they can still like make the orders like higher. So it just helps with their turnaround times and stuff like that. But I think they do another option as well where it is truly limited, like all of just that one game is like 2,000 copies or something. But I don't fully know the facts on that one. But yeah, I do like the way Red Art games are going.
The thing is, any problem with Red Art, they're a mixed bag.
Yes.
The quality control is not the best. You know what I mean? Some do some really good games, though. You know what I mean? But there's some like really average.
They felt like they started with anything they could grab, which makes sense. Yeah. But they were putting out those games that would cost like pence on the Xbox store or the PlayStation store. That'd be like a 2-minute platinum, didn't they, on a disc?
Yeah,
like Null Voider and things like that.
Yeah, the Ratalaika. They just knocked out every Ratalaika game, which frustratingly they didn't do the Ratalaika Shmup of Glaylancer. I was like, I've been expecting that for ages, and it's just not popped up yet because they had like a bit of a shmup like month or something, and I thought they was going to release it then, but yeah, we're still waiting. Still, if Red Art's watching, you know,
which is this
already, because I kind of got out of Red Art games a little bit because I started playing a load. I started unsealing them and played them, and it
have you played that? I don't know what one it's called. Is it
Ecclesia, the worst game on the PS4? Fucking shy game.
Yeah, Cat something. I've played it just recently. I can't remember what it's called. It's Cat something, and it's like a Metroidvania. It's really good actually. Starts out quite slow, but then it gets really good, and that's a Ratalaika game.
They also didn't do? Was it Mecha Bolt or something? It's like a Mega Man clone. That's all.
Actually, Meta Girl.
Meta Girl. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did Mecha Bolt as well, I think. But
the thing with Ratalaika, what I hate about them is some of the games have got potential, but there's a rush to get a platinum on it or a 1000 G. So I think you can like get 1000 G by getting to the second stage or like Meta Girl.
Yeah, no one goes past it.
It doesn't give you any reason to play it afterwards because it's all right, but it's not enough. I don't know. Once you get that pop, it's like,
you're playing a cheap.
I've released them all the reason now. I don't need any more.
I'll tell you a company that nobody ever really seems to buy from. I only stopped because the games that I've played from are pretty shit, to be honest with you. But it was Hard Copy Games. They originally all their games they put out in a big bundle, so I bought that. But I was stung with so much import, even though they said I'd already prepaid it, that it was like more than the games cost me. So I just mugged them off after that.
So Callum's here. How are you doing? He's made quite a good point as well. There's that many limited games companies now that are doing stuff like this, where games are getting said that are limited, and then they're getting like released like retail, and it's like, I think again this is what's put me off getting as many limited games now as I do, because you just don't know what lies around the corner.
Yeah, that's like with Alan Wake 2 that just got announced. Everyone's like, oh, it's at this, but it's so much on limited run. You just look on Amazon for like 70 quid.
So it's like, do you wait wait and then potentially have to pick it up like on the second-hand market, or it's just like, what do you do? I mean, the thing is, another thing I'm going to bring up now. At least limited companies don't put your gun to your head realistically to say, look, this is the only way you can play the games, which is good. I can pick up all these limited games by just going on the digital store and getting them, usually for like actually not much money. So all of them available to play. And I think that is realistically the limited games sort of like model. It's not so much because like they have like a limited quantity, but they're probably like funding like digital sales, if you know what I mean, because it's hard to get them physically, and a lot of times people won't know of them.
Something that was said in that interview with Josh from Run, that when they put their stuff out, once their run is done, they don't hold the rights to it. It all goes back to people, so it doesn't. People can keep putting stuff out, can't they? And I actually respect that because they're not trying to wall people into just their game. It is annoying that if you bought that version and you're paying import and stuff on it, then you could just go down to like Game and buy it when it comes out for like £30 or something. But I think we're not in the States, are we? They don't always get that. European market gets much different releases.
So there was another company as well. Strictly, no, what's it called?
First Press?
The one with the dog on it with the barrel on his neck.
Oh, I was literally just talking about them. Special Reserve
games. Now they were really good, but they fucked everything up as well. All of them games are banging, but they just imploded on themselves. And I think
they also had really cool packaging.
The game that did it, and this is what kind of like brings me into the last bit, like about companies not just releasing a physical that you can only get on this physical. Well, they actually did. They released Demon Throttle, where the only way you could play, well, it was advertised, the only way you can play this game is on that physical cart. There's not going to be, it was purposely physical only. Now, I think that's pretty scummy to do because that really just sort of like puts these games sort of like not into anyone's hands. The bit that I think fucked them over wasn't just that. It was everyone was waiting for this to be released, and then it got a retail release, still only physically, but it got a retail release after they said this is the only way you could get to play this game.
Didn't I don't know if didn't NG Dev Team do that with one of their games? Wasn't Resident X originally?
Oh, you said that on your video.
Yeah, no, but that's what it was about. It wasn't supposed to go on a digital store. You know what I mean? But I mean, you've obviously changed their mind and put it out digitally. But when it first came out, you could only get it on the cartridge, on the Switch card.
It's lies most of the time now. Alan Wake was never going to get a physical, was it? Either was Cuphead.
In the chat.
Oh yeah, Cuphead. Yeah, bloody hell, Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yes, Demon Throttle was a game exclusive. I don't know if that's still the case, but I know that I think that's where I made.
Yeah, I think they did GameStop, and it was just game, like at retail at least. Anyway, so there is still a bit of a limited. But the thing is, they're at the biggest companies, and I see them everywhere. To be honest, the Demon Throttles. It's not like a hard game to get hold of.
But jumping track completely. I mean, Ross brought it before. It's fun. It's a fun topic to go. It's like how the market's dropped. The resale market just isn't there like it used to be. Let's say, unless it's one of the bigger hype releases, most of them you can probably get for retail or just over, or even less than retail. But
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. It's just it is what it is. You know what I mean? When at certain points they will go and command them big money, and it's whatever for whatever reason, lack of interest. It's just or the quality titles just aren't.
It's
there.
Great for anyone who wants to play it. Like I'm not selling any of this.
No, neither am I.
I've got a few
games cheap. I'll buy them cheap.
If anyone wants to buy some, I'm still selling.
But
no, that brings another good point. Like, who do you think the market was like do you think the market has changed, like who's actually buying the games? Because I think it massively has. Like the scalper is not quite the same like market as it is. Like back then, it was probably 50% scalpers, 50% people who actually wanted the game that were buying them. So the fact that they've given it to an open pre-order has limited that a little bit.
Yeah, so the open pre-order pretty much killed that off, I think.
Yeah. So
that's why we still had the last few Vita games scalped, but they've dropped. Like I just picked up Meat Boy on the Vita, like the special edition of it, but like the same it would have cost me to buy it from their blowout sale with postage. So I'm not fussed by that. When the single edition of that was commanding £500 last year.
Fucking hell. Jesus. Well, yeah, so limited runs blowout sale where all the games were retail price.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if someone. I was on the Discord, the Limited Run Discord, and they explained what it meant by blowout sale, and it was just people go, they're not in sale, and they word it. I can't remember what they said, but they tried to justify the word blowout sale as being no, it doesn't mean they're going to be on sale. And like, seems
they just dipped into their back catalogue, and that's
yeah. I don't know. Mine have shipped now anyway. I've had one of my orders, and the second one is on the way now. So
my blind boxes haven't. That annoys me because everything's in hand. Their games are in hand. These are ones that have been made. They're in production.
I believe the blind boxes are done last though.
But is it because they haven't bothered to make the boxes for them yet?
I don't know.
You'd make the boxes for the amount you've got because they always sell out beforehand.
But there's people
the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They're just printing more copies. That's all it is. Like just the games.
There's people who complain now because certain titles they've oversold them, and people are having orders cancelled. Oceanhorn 2, I believe people have had their orders cancelled on that game.
So do you think limited run would get the stick that they have, like because who they are now and who they were back then, totally different? Do you think if limited run had a different name and it wasn't limited run, do you think they would get the same stick releasing the games the way they do now? Do you think
not, I think they've got a tarnished name. There's always going to be people that are just going to hate on them for whatever. It's just we know people personally who are like that. They just hate on them just because they hate on them, and it's nothing they will do will ever change that view.
Yeah. Hang on.
I don't mind waiting as long as it turns up. That's all.
I'm not too. It's not like look, both of you got loads of games. I've got loads of games. It's not like we haven't got anything else to play. It's annoying, but it isn't. It's not. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I think
talking about other games to play.
What irks me?
Callum's had a good question here. Nothing to do with like limited run games. No, but yeah, what happened to Pokemon Black?
It's gone down
Did
Black.
It kill the game challenge? Yeah. Well, I'm sure Chili was in the group earlier, so ask him.
He was. What pisses me off, what angers me is no transparency, no communication. If you're going to delay things, fine, keep people updated. You know what I mean? If you just don't good radio silence on people, and then you know what I mean. That's just not cool, and that's what Strictly Limited have done. They made announcements last year they were going to do all these things, and nothing's happened. Just tumbleweed, and it upset me personally.
Well, there was moving warehouses. That's the only reason. 8 months ago, they was moving into a different warehouse, and that's why it's going to be a little bit longer. Just wait.
Well, they said they were going to split up orders, didn't they? They had a whole slate of releases like moved until Q3. This year.
It's not bad, but if you were moving warehouse, what have you got to move if you could just ship it?
That's a good point. You spelled your name wrong there, Dylan.
What do you mean?
Well, Strictly Limited sent you an email recently with. To be fair, I think that's probably me. You know, what I mean, it's done that when I've set up my account. But no, I mean, and they came. They said they were going to split it. I've got like loads of games that are ready to ship. People have had these games for months, probably a year. I'm still waiting for mine because they're tied up with one game that's not ready to ship yet. And they said back in October, we'll split all those orders. So if you've got games that are tied up, you'll get them games. Leave it with us. 8 months later, nothing, silence, pure silence. And I said to them,
really snotty email saying, "I've been buying games from you since day one. Treat us with a bit of respect. You know what I mean? Be transparent. Update us on what's going on. You know what I mean? You said you were going to do this. Nothing's happened." And he said, "You saw the email, Eddie. They said, apologies, things are happening. We're now going to sort out your orders. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens."
At least if you order from somebody like Limited Rare, they tell you their customer service is going to be shit. And if you don't get your game, it's your own fault.
Yeah. So, hang on. With the strict limited thing, I have like quite a few games that I still want to buy, and I think this is what's fucking them over, because I think they need the money to get the games into production. I think they've kind of like got themselves out of the loop a little bit, because people have not been selling as many because of previous issues that they've had. So I think that's where they've got themselves into a bit of bother. They've done the pre-order sort of thing and not getting the amount of pre-orders to be able to get them into production. People are there wanting to buy games. I want to buy some of the games that they've got on their website, but I just don't feel the confidence to buy the games. So the Steel Empire, I've not ordered that yet.
I've got that in pre-order. Yeah.
So I mean, I've got so many games on order with them that are still like
nice little interesting ones that have come up recently. But I haven't pre-ordered them yet. You know what I mean? I'm like,
everyone's waiting.
I can't remember what they are. I'm going to look them up, but they have got some quite nice stuff.
But yeah, when they did the Air Twister, I thought, oh, things are looking up here, because they released that and they sold it within like a couple of weeks. It was really refreshing to get a game so quick from a limited company. And yeah, so I thought things were like getting a bit better, but it's just weird that they released that game and did it so quick, but yet there's still a massive backlog for other games.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's alarm bells ring with them, with like they're doing all these bundles, sales, giving out free products left, right, and centre. You know what I mean? And the releases are pretty much slowed down to a trickle. You know what I mean? They're hardly releasing any new games. I think they've got to sort out all the backlog stuff before you can then move forward. You know.
I've only just realised, since most of us all of us buy the PlayStation stuff over anything from these companies.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't talked about Super Rare Games. They're a company that does ship pretty quick with the stuff. They have done PS4 releases now, which is the only one of theirs that I ordered. I've had no problems ordering any Switch stuff from them. When I ordered a PS4 game from them, they use that shop app that tells you if it's going to turn up in the delivery and everything. Kept telling me it had been delivered. I had to complain to them, and turn out they hadn't sent it. The only shitty thing they'd ever done. But they sent it out like special delivery, and I got it the next day. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if that's because we don't buy Switch stuff that they haven't really come up.
Well, PlayStation, the thing is with PlayStation, there's a minimum order that is a lot lower than what Switch is. So because of that, like, PlayStation is a lot rarer for certain games than the Switch. Yet the Switch market is like rabid. Like, people are going absolutely nuts, going, this is the next rare thing, when realistically the PS4 version is infinitely more rarer. It's crazy how people think.
I don't buy the Switch version because I see it as the inferior version.
Exactly. But the other thing that, like, because of that you don't get is companies like what you get or get, like a Poop Slinger. There's never going to be a Poop Slinger on the Switch.
No, not on the Switch.
So, do you want to talk a bit about the what is the name of that company? That's like
Limited Rare Game.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of a weird one. They started off with a game called Poop Slinger, released April 1st. Everyone thought it was a joke. It was all written in badly worded English, as if it was like all coming out of Russia. It wasn't. It came out of America. But it sold very, very poorly. And then apparently the company went under, and then they had to liquidate all their stock, and apparently only 84 copies of it got out into the wild. So you get a copy of that. It's worth a lot of money. But then another company called Limited Rare Games popped up, which isn't the same company. There's no way, because they have nothing to do with Poop Slinger on their website at all. So somebody hijacked the name, and they purposely do whole no, like really bad broken English, everything. Like they tell you you're going to release a game, doesn't come out. You go, oh, we'll go buy this game. We've got a game. We've got something releasing this day, and it turns out to be a T-shirt, or it turns out to be a book. They've published 2 books now. The last game they said they were going to do turned out to be a book. But their stuff
That's
is
worth a bit of money now. That book, isn't it?
one of them is
The one with like just a black cover.
The Truth. Then,
Have you got that?
I haven't got it. I've looked at it. I've seen it a few times go quite cheap, for about 20 quid, but then when they sell out, it goes up for hundreds again. But yeah, I think that turns out to be like a love story between Boris, whoever the person, he's the website designer apparently, and some of this. It's like a whole lore of buying video games is incredibly bizarre. But I'm determined to get an entire set of them. I'm missing one, and it is the most expensive of theirs because it's the first one they released, which is Tamashi. It's about a £1,250 game now. If you want to buy it now, when it goes up on auction, it usually goes about 800. I do want it,
and I was like, I really should have done that. I was like,
yeah,
I 100 quid for a crap game. What an idiot! But yeah, talking of which, there was a limited rare game that was supposed to have been released recently. Did that actually happen? We were talking about it.
No, it turned out to be a book.
Oh, that was the second.
It was another book.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, because I was looking at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then
purposely they were posting on their Twitter like, oh, there'll be a sale today. It'll come up today. It'll come up today. It's like, oh, we've got technical issues. Nothing. Then it'll be like, you told us to publish something, so we published a book.
But like that company, they're the only company that's kind of got that like sort of limited company feel from back in the day.
Oh yeah,
not many people know about them. Like no one talks about them, but the people that know, and it's
I posted it actually it's in Discord. People were saying, "What's your rarest game?" And I posted a picture of Poop Slinger. Everyone thought I was taking the piss. I was like, no, genuinely. But I don't know. There's a couple of weird ones.
Just a side note: when you turn your camera off, we can still hear you searching for porn. He's not bothered, is he? Just fapping away.
Yeah, the other weird one though, there's an odd thing that apparently limited rare is actually hard copy games now, and there's a whole thing about it. But there's that other weird company, the one that I told you to buy stuff off, Eddie.
Yeah, I don't know what that company is. I just know the games.
Limited Legacy.
Limited Legacy.
To be honest, their first release turned up very fast when I bought it. But yeah, they've got that game on there called Pigsy's Revenge, which it everything else looks like a game. This just says it will come out one day. It's got between like the year of the rat and the year of the horse.
Yeah, you got to be a believer to buy it or something, and the price changes every time you go on the site.
Yeah, at one point it was £666 or whatever.
But that's where the fun is. It's like, is this going to happen or not? Are you just taking a proper gamble?
Yeah, I've got an order on that. If it ever turns up, I'll let you know.
Yeah. No, I do like the fact that PlayStation do have so many companies that are just like under talked about, and just makes you wonder how many truly rare games there are that have been released. That like Game Fairy. Do you know about Game Fairy at all? So that's like a Spanish one.
Heard of it, but I've never looked into it.
Like, there's a lot of games that you'll know of, like Toby. I think one's called Toby, but like they'll have them in a special box, like a Game Fairy box. I think so. Like they're getting quite rare and quite sought after, but yeah, very tricky to find.
Yeah, you don't end up with the Arab drift cars, do you? On the Switch?
I've just looked up. I've realised I've got one of those Game Fairies. Is that Rigid Force Deluxe? That's one of theirs, isn't it?
They did one, yeah.
Yeah, because they're on. They sell them on Video Game Plus Canada. Looks like they've done that.
Well, that's the other thing. Video Game Plus Canada. If you miss a game on limited run, just go in there. You'll get it cheaper. Because the postage makes it cheaper, doesn't it?
I think they're the same price, or if not, a little bit
The,
more.
the game's the same price, but it's the postage that makes it
Yeah.
like if you get it from there, you don't have to pay the same postage.
I was going to say again with the being able to do smaller runs of PlayStation stuff. Again, they allow things like limited rare to do their last release of a game. You didn't know what you ordered; it just said mystery game. Like, how many companies just put out something that says mystery game, like other than like limited run, but you know what could be in your boxes. I had no idea what I ordered. Turned out to be a horror game. I collect horror games. It's all good.
Raz with
Guys,
oh,
Nintendo to the end.
hot take there, isn't it? If you're a PS4 collector, it's definitely not the go. Now, PS4 collecting is true collecting because it's the rarer thing. Just everyone just fanboys over Nintendo, so you're never going to get that true rarity that you get with PS4. Plus, most of the games are on PS4 that are on Switch anyway. So, what's like? Why not have the rarer one that plays better?
I just think the PlayStation 4 has the best library. It's just great. You know what I mean? I love it.
It's insane. Like, I'll give it, to be honest, most of it is on Xbox as well, but it's not physical. So from a collector's standpoint, the PS4 wipes the floor with it.
Well, I kind of got into the when Game Pass came out, I was like, right, I'm going to stop buying so many games, and I'm going to just play them digitally on Game Pass. And it was great fun while I had it, but that FOMO of actually like having a physical copy was too much, and I needed to stop. I was watching games come up on Game Pass and going, I can't play it because I want to get it physically.
See what I do? I play it on Game Pass, think that's awesome, then buy the PS4 copy.
Yeah. But there's games that I want to have like physically, but I've not, like Carrion. Fantastic game that I played on Game Pass, and I'd love to have it physically, but it's like I'm buying it just to put on my shelf. I know a lot of the games are still sealed up there, but they're all bought with the view of playing them. So like doing it backwards, kind of like it's harder for me because I've already played it, enjoyed it.
No, I played DJ Max originally on Game Pass. I thought that's amazing. Then I bought the digital version when it released, and it was removed from Game Pass. Now I've got the PS4 version, and I'm going to go for that. My plan was if I ever beat it on the Xbox, play the PS4 one, and I'm going to do that next. So I like having that, knowing that I can go to it to go for the trophies on it after I've got the achievements on something.
What was that? What was that company that was at Nottingham Gaming Market? Or the Nottingham Gaming?
Yeah, they only did
a crisis wing.
Yeah, well, that wasn't
Didn't
them.
we do some
Wasn't that a video game plus Canada game anyway?
Yeah, it was Video Games New York, I think.
So it wasn't them directly
over here, didn't they?
Yeah. It was the Dreamcast company. The
yeah,
ones that were making
Dreamcast company, wasn't it?
Actually, that's a good point. Since limited run games, there's been a lot of limited retro games as well.
Well, I was about to bring that up. You know, like repros. You know what I mean? So you know, like these retro bit has become a big one for like the car-based stuff.
So I know Access Area brought up retro bit earlier and makes a good point. Yeah, so like that limited sort of market has brought these like limited these retro games into the eye. I think a lot of shmups have been released by retro bit, Mega Man. It's good to have, but I'm only collecting the Super Nintendo, the NES ones because they're a lot more limited. There's not as many NES ones. So I've got like what have I got? Can't remember now. Hammer and Harry, the Metal Storm one, and I really want to get of theirs. What's it called? That gothic sort of Castlevania game.
I know the one you mean. I don't know what it is, but I know the one you mean.
Yeah, supposedly that really. What's it?
Holy Diver.
Holy Diver, yeah. So they did Holy Diver as well. which I need to get so I can complete.
I mean, I know Ross. I don't know if he still got them. I know he did buy them. Those. I wish I'd got them in that little box set. It was only 150 quid or $150. I thought, I should have got that, and I didn't. That one, the tour plan one.
Oh, that's going for some money now. That is.
Yeah, it's a lovely little set. That.
Yeah. I
can remember all games, you know what I mean?
And
they went out and done really nice artwork for all the different games. There's extra stuff in there. Cartridges are in nice, like, cool colours, clear shells and stuff. Yeah, it was just a nice.
I got really pissed up talking to Eddie, and he made me open it.
Yeah, that was funny. That was. We had like a stream.
Did you give one of them games to somebody? Was it Ross?
I gave one to Gordon.
Gordon, that was it. Rossman, Gordon. Yeah, I remember now.
Was it from the set, or was it just a separate game?
A separate one. I ended up with I don't know why. I think Chrissy complained about something, and we ended up with like 4 copies of Turrican. I think I've still got another one.
So, yeah. What about 360 games? Do you think, and PS3 games? Do you think anyone's going to release any of them anytime soon? Because I know there was a PS3 game. There was like a little phase of PS3 games getting released quite late on.
Yeah, they done 2 Oddworld games, didn't they? Limited run. I had them, but I ended up selling.
Yeah, I've got one of
Stranger's Wrath and
Stranger's Wrath. I think I've got.
Yeah, and was it Oddworld's New and Tasty? I don't know. I don't know which one it was. It was 2 Oddworld games anyway.
Yeah, I might shift on the PS3. I'm never going to play it. I've got it on like so many things now. It's just...
Do an Eddie, sell it all.
Get rid. Yeah.
I've actually pulled a lot of stuff off of the shelves to get rid of. It's just PS2 tat I'm never going to play, so I'm gonna shift it. No one wants it.
Yeah. Just keep the shmups. Yeah, I think everything is going like arcade style games in my gaming collecting, which is why I still have my finger on the pulse a little bit of limited companies because of that. Another limited company, it's not been talked about, and I can't believe Dylan hasn't brought it up yet.
Oh, First Press.
Yeah. What's happening with First Press these days?
Has anything ever come from them?
Yeah, I've got 2. Yeah.
But their game, their package, they really put a lot of effort into their games. I think they're really nice products. It's just a shame they don't come out that quickly, or they're slow to send them out, but they're really well done.
So I think what's messed them up completely is because of how well they do the packaging. But not only that, but I don't know if you know, Ross, but their first 10 games all line up together.
Okay.
So they all line up together, and you can get a slipcover for all 10 of them.
Don't tell me this. Don't tell me this.
But I think we've only got like 9 released so far. Like I say, released, available to pre-order on PS4 so far. There's 10 on Switch, so you can get the whole 10. Well, you can order the whole 10. However, there'll probably be about 4 games really, like actually in people's hands.
Limited releases that look good in a set, that Annapurna set.
And they do like 2 different versions of the covers. They do an English style cover and they do a Japanese style cover as well. And then they come like then they want to give you like this little collective coin as well. You know what I mean?
So if you see here, Ross, you can see the remnants of the previous game and the next game, and the match up, and it's all foil cover, so it's so nice.
It looks like your granddad's shit old encyclopedia.
And inside it's like just chock full.
The manuals are super thick as well. They do like go into real big detail in the manuals. You get like loads of like interviews with the developers and all sorts in there, and loads of like they always, some of them got like a anime and let's say not anime, manga in them as well.
Hold on.
He's got manga in them.
Wallet's fucking off, right?
We need to keep talking to make sure Ross forgets. We've been talking about this. Oh,
so has Raz ordered something from First Press, or is he just
Raz, you like your Switch stuff because like there's quite a lot of like I say, there's more Switch stuff available to buy on First Press. Have you ordered any? Because I think as a collector, they do some really good games as well. Like most of the games are hits, I think. like the Sydney Hunter games, really good games. Again, another one I would have loved to have ordered, but because it's in limbo and I've already beat the game, I've not ordered it.
That's a game I want to play, actually.
Did you order plushies from them, Eddie?
No, but I've got one that they sell.
Konami plushies.
Yeah, because you can get them elsewhere, but I think they was first released there.
Yeah.
Or announced.
For Raz, they even did an a la carte one, didn't they? A la carte plushie.
So Raz has ordered them and sold them, like before you've received them?
Big Game Hour's got a big parcel coming then.
Fucking Raz Scalpotendo. Actually, is there I don't think there's any value to these. I don't think I don't think these have actually sold out yet, have they?
I don't know. No idea.
I'm not 100%. I don't think they have.
No.
So get yourself to first press. Order the ones that you know that are available, which is about 2. And
big one. I mean, well, the big one that I'm waiting on is that is Crimson Clover, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think you was waiting for 2 years, and when these actually arrived, maybe a year ago now.
Yeah,
I think
you got yours before me.
Yeah, so I was like, right, because you've been waiting for so long for Crimson Clover. If I order it now, it won't take long.
Yeah,
Still waiting.
Neck and Navy as well, with the one with the cat. They shoot him up with the cat.
Nico
Navy.
Yeah, that's released though, isn't it? Yeah. That's been released though, hasn't it? That one.
It's not. Well, it has been posted.
Well, you have, yeah, but yours is stuck with all the other games.
Yeah, it's stuck with Crimson Clover probably.
Yeah. So I've ordered Chained Echoes from them as well, which looks like.
Oh right, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Ross is like, "Fucking, where's my wallet gone again?"
The phone's going in a minute.
Because you played Chained Echoes, haven't you?
I haven't.
Haven't you? I'm sure you. I thought you played it.
No, I haven't.
That's
yeah, because that's like another 16-bit RPG that looks pretty fantastic.
I will play it. Not ordering. Got to beat the backlog first.
Tell you what, though, their website's had a bit of an uplift. I mean, facelift. It looks a lot flashier than what it was when I was last on there.
Who's that? First Press?
First Press, yeah. But it's like they're still releasing or announcing new games, it looks like, anyway.
Oh, is there? I've not been on it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, Sydney Hunter, Chained Echoes, Crimson Clover, Mind Seas. I don't know, I've not...
Mind Seas looks all right, but I think you can get Mind Seas elsewhere.
Under Hero.
But you can't get it elsewhere because it won't line up if you don't get
it. Yeah. There's what's that? Perp Games as well. They do sort of like limited packaging for some of their games. So they do like a lot of retail stuff.
I thought I'd go for a Perp set.
Yeah, Perp is pretty cool. So I think they're as limited as limited run games, their stuff, but they just don't talk about themselves that way.
Who's this?
So, Perp Games.
Perp.
They put out Madison, so you know they're good. They also put out the Grey Hood Incident, so they're not that good.
But they have like a lot of like VR games as well, don't they? Which I think that's where the rarity is. Like the VR stuff is like.
I think anything VR 2 is going to get expensive because Sony are just dropping that like anything now.
Yeah, they messed up there, didn't they? With that, the fact that they didn't make it backwards compatible.
Didn't make it backwards compatible, and it's 500 quid.
Yeah. It's just, if you're going to pay that much money and not have the games available to you, make sure the old ones work on it.
Yeah.
Surely like they could make a patch for that, surely.
You would have thought so. I only found out the other day why that Intruders game's really expensive. Everyone should jump on that if they get a chance for the
I want to get. Why is it?
It got pulled from shelves. It got hit with the Rule of Rose treatment because it's a home invasion game, and basically, apparently, a kid gets the shit beaten out of him in it, and it got pulled.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's true. They said that about Rule of Rose. No kids have the shit beaten out of them in that. So
Yeah. And if you got this far and you want our rare game recommendations, Silver Chains as well, I think that's going to be even rarer. I think. See, I just don't see that anywhere anymore. Have you seen that one, Ross?
I
It's
have, but
like,
I don't have it.
yeah, it's another horror game. I don't know that. I'm assuming that's probably got pulled, and that's the reason why.
Yeah.
But,
So I would say anybody who wants to collect anything, video game related, why horror or RPG? Can't go wrong, really.
yeah, but I think that horror is the only thing that's really sticking with like values, because like RPGs, and so many people are into them now, but kind of like
I don't know, you get the odd one that slips through, like Blue Reflection and that kind of stuff.
But you're saying that you can't go wrong, but I think it's not as simple as it used to be.
If you're buying it cheap, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go full retail like day of release. I mean, if you're out and about a car boot and you see an RPG, just grab it.
See a poop slinger at the car boot, you never know. But
when I die, it'll be there, don't worry.
Any Japanese limited companies, Dylan?
No, not really, other than Super Deluxe, but then that's just limited run, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can get that from Amazon.
Yeah.
So are they, because
they
announce them as limited? Or do they actually announce them as limited?
I don't know. I think they probably still have it. Probably have a certain print run on them. You know what I mean? There's certain ones that sell out. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know, because it's all the Japanese, isn't it? So I wouldn't know what's. Yeah. But like you say, you can get them easy enough through Amazon, which is good for us because we can import them quite easy. You know.
I was going to say there was a couple other ones that I couldn't think of who they were, but yeah, there's where was it? I've never bought it from Dispatch Games. Have you?
I've heard of Dispatch Games. I'm sure
I've heard of it, but yeah.
Yeah, there's Fan Gamer as well. I think I've got a couple of them, but I've bought like on second-hand market, not rather than from them.
Yeah, so Fan Gamer did.
So they did Undertale.
Undertale.
Yeah.
And Hollow Knight. They done like collector's edition for Hollow Knight.
Okay. Yeah. Forever Limited. I don't think I've ever bought anything from them. Have you?
Who?
Forever Limited. I have heard of them, but
they do the big box set things. So they do like House of the Dead and stuff like that.
Okay. And there you go. That's one that just googling it. One that I have bought a lot from. They put out shite. Is Funbox Media. But their stuff is very limited, actually, if you look into it properly. But it ends up as bargain bin crap most of the time. Taxi Driver Simulator I played is one of the worst games I've ever played. 10-minute platinum. Cost me 25 quid.
But they've been around for ages, just releasing shite and actually being quite limited. So like,
but nobody would ever put them in the same category.
That would be really fun one to get, I think, because there's a lot of shite on there, but like interesting shite.
Yeah, all about interesting shite.
So we've got someone who I don't think has been on here before. Super Mega Dave, hi. Discuss super rare games yet? So we've got the master who's nearly got the full set of super rare games up here, Ross. So yeah, quite like they're the true limited company nowadays. They're the only ones.
That's limited rare. Super rare is the one that's the Switch stuff.
Oh shit! Yeah. You touched upon them, didn't you? You touched upon them.
They do well with the fact that they only put their releases out when they have them in hand. That's the best thing they do.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Switch ones, but I've not really.
I've got a few, but I think I've got 3 maybe.
Yeah, but we're not. We've got them off Switch, aren't they? So we've not really gone a bit rabid on them.
I've got
most of my Switch collection is super rare games. Most of it hasn't been that great, to be honest with you. Like the stuff I've played.
What's that explosion machine? What is it?
Oh yeah,
Graceful Explosion Machine. That was good fun.
I've got that, and I've got Freedom Finger. They're the only 3 I've got. An Itter, which is I think
they do Freedom Finger, do they?
They did do a Freedom Finger release, I think, didn't they?
So I started playing that Graceful Explosion Machine. I can't get on with it. I'm just
it just reminded me of Geometry Wars.
Well, exactly. When you was showing the video of you playing it, I was like, oh yeah, Geometry Wars. But like, it's the fact that limited the bullets and stuff like that.
Oh
I was
yeah.
frustrated by it.
But the
It's
more
like,
you
I'm not
upgrade, the
enjoying
more
it.
you can do more. But I enjoyed it.
It's all right. It was all right. But yeah, I'm glad.
But
I
yeah,
didn't
that is
like
the style of game that most of the super rare stuff is. That and point and clicks.
Okay.
I've played.
That Flynn is fantastic though. That's a
Flint
PS4.
Hook.
I was gonna again. That was another Xbox Game Pass one I played, and I was like, should I get it? And I never did.
Was that Flint Hook?
No, Flynn.
Flynn. Oh, Flynn the Crimson. Yeah, I played. Yeah, I beat that on
that's
Game
it,
Pass.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was Son of Crimson or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's a good game.
What's that? Sorry.
Yeah, you
Flynn,
like
Son
Flynn.
of Crimson. It's like a
It's a
platform.
bit Wonder Boy-y. Like, yeah, really.
Oh,
good.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, they started doing PS4 and PS5, haven't they? Super rare.
Yeah, it was when I got the Tartarus key. I got them because it looks like a PS1 first-person horror game.
I wish I got that one. I had it in my basket and everything.
That's the one. That's the one I had to complain about to get it sent to me.
That Nightmare Reaper. That's just had an LRG release on PS4, but I think it's super rare on the Switch variant.
Yeah, that looks fun though. I think I watched Marathon Gaming playing that the other day.
Oh, really?
I've
not heard of it.
I think that's one you'd like, Eddie.
It's like a first-person, like Doom style game, isn't it?
Oh, right. I think I might know what that is. Yeah, yeah. I'm really enjoying the boomer shooters recently.
I've still got to play Proteus. I haven't played it yet, but I've got it sitting over there.
It's not as good as some of the other ones, but yeah, it's still good. I'd like to see what you think about the graphic options as well. See if you change them like I did. Take the retro filter off. It's still like all like pixelated and stuff. So
yeah.
But
right, I'm gonna have to make a move.
I was gonna say, like, we're over an hour and a half now. There is nothing else anyone wants to discuss before we disappear.
No, but it's been a nice little chat.
Yeah, just a bit of a waffle about stuff. It hasn't really been a rant.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Reached the point where we're thinking this stuff's all right.
Yeah. No, it's been good.
Yeah. Well,
thank you for putting together.
I'm starting to like be a bit slow with making YouTube videos and stuff. I can't be bothered to do them. I've been discussing with you, Dylan, about potentially doing something similar like this in the future. Where,
yes, happy up that.
Basically, going to be talking about just one-on-one with other people. Dylan's going to come over and we're going to do a bit of a chat about shmups. And I'd like to go and chat to other people as well about like their sort of like focus of like gaming and stuff. So I'm assuming Ross will be either driving or shit games if we ever have a discussion.
I'm good with that. Rhythm as well.
So yeah, it'd be quite cool, like just to see what everyone like really enjoys of gaming and stuff like that. So yeah, similar kind of vibe to this, just a bit of nonsense, but just people just having a chat. I know he's asked twice now. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. You getting it? Of course. Is there any other question? That's a given, really, isn't it? It's not on the Switch physically, so of course I'm getting it.
Is that its title? Is it? I don't know. I've seen it. I've seen the announcement. I didn't know what it was. Full proper title. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I bet it's gutting. He's not getting a Switch physical. Gutting.
It will in Japan, won't it?
Only in Japan, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. In the best territory.
It's always is, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on because it was a bit of a last minute thing.
Before we vanish, can I mention something? Just because I've set myself a challenge, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to be making videos about. That I am going to start and play through every limited run PS4 game from start to finish. Write a small review of is my plan, and I've just beat this, and I'm going to put a video out. I just want to see how long I can keep this going for before I get burnt out. I want to see if the games started off good and if they got worse and the point in which it was there. I just want to see how well it goes. But yeah, trying to beat
Dylan,
them all. Will be a fucking
Dylan, when
slog.
was the first Chemco release?
Pretty quite early on, I would think.
Yeah, there's one where it's one of them every other release, I think, isn't it?
Oh, they've all got the same title as well. They all look the same.
Dragon something.
Yeah, Illusion. They've all got Illusion in the title. You know?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm going to try it and see if I can do it.
I reckon. Thing is, of the 400 collection, I reckon there's a good 30, 40 of them. I'm sure of it. Not 30,
Yeah.
maybe 30 of them. I reckon there's about 30 of them.
The last one I tried was Dragon
I had-
Sinker, and I was about 10 minutes in and I was bored.
But yeah, like I say, thanks for coming on, guys, and spending a bit of time with this nutter over here. And thanks for everyone who's coming in, asked the question and everything like that. So there's been a lot more people I was expecting for the subject matter, because not many people really have the fanatical sort of like side of we do. I don't think for it. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you later. Peace.
Bye.